It's always the people you most suspect. Okay, well, today we're covering something absolutely astoundingly bad, astoundingly embarrassing, just absolutely disgusting on the part of the young Republicans. You know, the guys who always like would wear suits on like college campuses when every college student is dressed casually because they're in college, but these guys still like to wear suits. And okay, look, whenever a article headline starts with "I love Hitler," oh man, you know it's gonna be bad. Leaked messages expose young Republicans' racist rant. Thousands of private messages reveal the young GOP leaders joking about gas chambers, slavery, and rape. Okay, so I mean, do I even need to say that this is like astoundingly bad, evil? It's racist, it's misogynistic, it's homophobic, it's transphobic, it's everything you could ever imagine it to be, right? And here, let's just read some of these. Everyone that votes no is going to a gas chamber. When do we get to bring that side out? You're giving nationals too much credit and expecting the Jew to be honest. Are you going to do whatever it takes? We're now officially under consideration for a Trump endorsement. Smiley face. I'm ready to watch people burn now. Great. I love Hitler. My favorite. I'm not going to read all of these because YouTube might get me in trouble if I read all of these, but my favorite. If we ever had a leak of this chat, we would be cooked for real, for real. Well, that much is true. That is the one thing that is true here. So leaders of the young Republican groups throughout the country worried what would happen if their Telegram chat ever got leaked, but they kept typing anyway because they don't care. They're just so careless and they're just like all in it for the lulz, I guess, and like they're not trying to actually have any like seriousness about them. Like they're casual with their evil is the thing. They refer to black people as monkeys and watermelon people. They mused about putting their political opponents in gas chambers. They talked about raping their enemies and driving them to suicide and lauded Republicans who they believed supported slavery. Like, oh my God. But you know what? These are the young Republicans. It's not honestly that different from what like the young Republicans in general represent. And when I say young, like, because we'll get to this later, but JD Vance tried to say that these are all just young college kids, like 18, 22-year-olds. No, these people are in the young Republicans are anywhere from 18 to 40. Okay, a lot of these people are in their 20s and 30s, and one of them is a state senator. One of them is like the vice president of the Young Republicans of New York. Like these people are kind of high up, and they're not that young. These are grown adults. I don't even want to read this part of it. They're using multiple variations of the N-word. The vice chair, the vice chair of the New York State Republicans at the time referred to rape as epic. Peter Giunta, who at the time was chair of the same organization, wrote in a message sent in June that everyone that votes no is going to a gas chamber. I mean, okay, look, I really don't want to read these things out loud because I feel like it's almost like toxic to the soul to read these things out loud. But, you know, you can pause and read. I'm ready to watch people burn now, said Annie K. Catty. Yeah, women are involved in this too, New York's National Committee member said. Since Politico began making inquiries, one member of the group is no longer employed at their job, and another's job offer was rescinded. Majority New York Republicans, including Representative Elise Stefanik and State Minority Leader Rob Ortt, have denounced the chat. Well, I mean, that's something, but that's literally the bare minimum here. And festering resentments among young Republicans have now turned into public recriminations, including allegations of character assassination and extortion. Yeah, they're the real victims, right? The people who post stuff like this, yeah, these are the real victims. Shut the fuck up, honestly. Oh, and look, this is one of the guys. This is the Peter Guintia, huh? It's almost like they always look exactly the way you would expect them to. Unfuckable losers. A liberating atmosphere. The 2,900 pages of chats shared among a dozen millennial and Gen Z Republicans between early January and mid-August chronicled their campaign to seize control of the National Young Republican Organization on a hardline pro-Donald Trump platform. Many of the chat members already work inside government or party politics, and one served as a state senator. A state senator is doing this. Together, the messages reveal a culture where racist, anti-Semitic, violent rhetoric circulate freely, and where the Trump-era loosening of political norms has made such talk feel less taboo among those positioning themselves as next party leaders. Yes, so the young Republicans are going to be, you know, middle-aged and old Republicans eventually. Like, these people are going to grow up. They're already in positions of power as it is, and more of them are going to come to power as time goes on. And they're Nazis, yo. They're fascists. Like, you wonder why we call them that? Because, like, look, when you post stuff like this, you can't be surprised when people call you out for what you are. I can't even read all this because it's just like so infuriating, and I don't even want to read all of it. But in one instance, Walker, who at the time was a staffer for Ort, talked about how a mutual friend of some in the chat dated this very obese Indian woman for a period of time. Oh, look, here's another one of them, huh? Oh, okay, yep, exactly what we would expect. Oh, and look, there's another guy, huh? They're literally all the same, dude. Like, they're literally the same archetype. Unfuckable losers, incel types. Great, I love Hitler. And that's Gianta. So Gianta is this guy. Yep, this is the guy who loves Hitler while wearing an American flag pin. The Americans who fought against the Nazis. Oh my god, it's so infuriating. Why not just wear a swastika pin, honestly? That's who we really are. I mean, white supremacist symbols, vicious words for enemies. I mean, now this is actually pretty funny. In another instance, Mosselman tells the group the Spanish came to America and had sex with every single woman. Sex is gay, Dwyer writes. Sex, it was rape. But hang on now, sex is gay. Look, if there was ever an incel thing to say, it would be this: sex is gay. Now, who is Dwyer? Is there a picture of him? Okay, maybe not. But we might be able to find him in a different article. Oh, here's another one, huh? If we ever had a link in this chat, but then they still like continue to post horrible things. It's just like, oh, I don't want to keep going on this article. Let's continue. The full list of young Republicans involved in offensive chats. Good. Now here they are. Oh look at them. And there's the one woman, right? Or there might have actually been more than one woman, but you know, she's the same. You know, she's a female incel. It's, you know, the same archetype. She's just the same evil, just from the other sex. I'm gonna set them all out now. Bobby Walker, New York. Peter Guentia, New York. Joe Malgiano, New York. Alex Dwyer, Kansas. William Hendricks, Kansas. Andy Kataki, New York. Luke Mosselman, Arizona. Samuel Douglas, Vermont. Breonna Douglas, Vermont. You can see all their names here, and then who they are. I think I've already covered some of these comments. I just wanted to get another picture of these people. Responses from Republicans. Okay, look, the responses from Republicans, well, we're going to get to J.D. Vance in a second, but a lot of the responses are just damage control, right? Like, they're saying the bare minimum that you would expect, and they're just trying to cover for them, saying, yeah, this is bad, we condemn it. I was shocked and disgusted to learn about the racist, anti-Semitic, and misogynistic comments attributed to the speakers of the New York State Republicans. This behavior is indefensible and has no place in our party or anywhere in public life. Well, that's true, but the problem is like, these are kind of normalized amongst the young Republicans. Like, you know, these aren't just a fringe. Like, this is kind of the norm for these people. Like, they are just that bad, you know? And the reason why they're bad, I mean, do they genuinely believe these things, or is it just part of their social club? A little bit hard to say, but I think a lot of the time, people are like this because their own personal lives are terrible, right? They may not have anything going for them. They might feel down on themselves, but instead of actually trying to improve their own life and work on themselves, they blame other people. Like, you know, they resort to racism, anti-Semitism, misogyny, you know, Islamophobia, homophobia, etc., etc., etc. They resort to these things and blame minority groups for their own problems because they're unfuckable losers. Yes, that's really what it is. Anyway, let's talk about, here's J.D. Vance, you know, political opportunist and king. And I think there's a quote from him down here. So Vance, though, had a different take on the topic on an episode of the Charlie Kirk Show. Which why is J.D. Vance hosting podcasts? Doesn't he have a job to do as vice president? But I guess, you know, whatever, you know, just do a podcast. On Wednesday, Vance dismissed the messages as representing only the immaturity of kids, arguing they were getting far too much attention by focusing on what kids are saying in a group chat. Grow up. I'm sorry, Vance said. Focus on the real issues. Don't focus on what kids say in group chats. Okay, these are not kids, all right? The average age of these people, okay, like literally here, they appear to range from 24 to 35. One of them is a state senator. One of them is the vice president of the New York Young Republicans. Not only are they grown-ass adults, they are in positions of power, and yet they're still saying the most absolutely vile things around. And the reason why they're saying the vile things is not because they're strong. They're not strong evil. They are the most weak, pathetic, stupid, ignorant, unfuckable people imaginable. That's why they're like this. And that's why I really want it to be understood. I think we've already covered most of what's in this article, I think. Here we have another thing, by the way, also, roughly around the same time period, someone in DC had a Zoom call with a staffer in Congressman Dave Taylor's office, and in the background we have look at this bastardization of the American flag, an American flag with a swastika put on it. That's just an absolute disgrace. And oh, there's the guy who died. Oh, look, another young Republican, huh? Angelo Elia, fantastic. Excuse me. But like, look at that desecration. Our flag literally fought against the swastika flag. And you know what? We beat them. We beat them the same way we're going to still continue to beat them today. But it's just an absolute disgrace to see that happening in our capital. And here's David Taylor, by the way, Ohio politician. He's a U.S. representative for Ohio's 2nd Congressional District. Oh, and look, Wikipedia is always on point. They already had the swastika incident. On October 15th, just yesterday, a social media post garnered attention for depicting a staffer for Taylor, Angelo Elia, on a Zoom call from Taylor's suite in the Cannon House office building with an American flag altered to include a swastika visible in the background. Taylor's office reported that on October 14th, the flag had been discovered in the suite. So the office reported that it had been discovered the day before, and then the post was made the next day. Taylor stated that his office and the United States Capitol Police immediately began a coordinated investigation of the incident. Well, I wonder what that investigation is going to lead to, but yeah, this is bad, but I want people to understand, like, this is what we're up against. Like, these really are who these people are. They really just are that bad, you know? The young Republican staffers, the young Republicans, like, stuff like this. I have to scroll up, hang on. Stuff like this. That's what they really believe. That's the thing that they like. That's the things that they believe. Now, I do want it to be known again. They don't believe this because they're actually strong. They're not actually tough. They're weak, pathetic losers, and they fall into this because of that, right? Every problem in their life is actually the fault of a minority. It's a woman's fault. It's a black person's fault. It's a Jewish person's fault. It's a Muslim's fault. Oh, it's a trans person's fault. Like, they're just so pathetic. And you know what? That's how we're going to be able to beat them, because fundamentally these are weak people at heart, and they will not win. See you next time.